guess what I found out? I found out that the same Christian Bible y'all reading, the same publisher, wrote the Satanic Bible too. Look it up. Damn, y'all be so gullible following all kind of shit. I always had a problem with following that fucking book, even from the time I was a child. The bullshit never made sense. I always asked, how in the hell did two people populate this entire world? And why is it that when I was introduced to this Bible, everything in the Bible looked nothing like me? But then the older I got, the more they tried to say, oh, the Bible is about you. No, it ain't.
Now, black people are ticklish on this because black people think that everything in the Bible is true. I question the intelligence of anyone who thinks everything in the Bible is true or supposed to be true. It's allegory, stories told to illustrate a point at a time when there were very few people reading books. And most of what went into the making of the Bible was copied from Egyptian texts. Now, if you want to get so dewy-eyed over the Bible, which is a carbon copy of a carbon copy, why don't you go back and read the original Egyptian?
By the way, where are the unicorns that are referred to in the Bible? Where are those, either in the fossil record or today? I'd like to see one of those. Another one of those interesting tests that continues to get failed.
Well, if you get an old 1828 Noah Webster's dictionary, which is the very first edition dictionary that Webster came out with about 200 years ago, and if you look up the word unicorn, it says that unicorn is an animal with one horn, the monoceros. This name is often applied to the rhinoceros. Notice how this definition says absolutely nothing about a horse. It says nothing about a horse-like animal or a mythical animal or a fictitious creature. It says absolutely nothing about Greek mythology whatsoever, but rather it says that this is a name that is often applied to the rhinoceros. Wait a minute. What? The rhinoceros? You mean this is a unicorn? But the rhinoceros has two horns. How could this be a unicorn? Well, if you look up the word rhinoceros in the same dictionary, it says that rhinoceros is a genus of quadrupeds of two species, one of which, the unicorn, has a single horn growing almost erect from the nose. This animal when full grown is said to be 12 feet in length. There's another species with two horns, the bicornus. They are natives of Asia and of Africa. According to Noah Webster, back in the early 1800s, it was understood that there were two species of the rhinoceros. The one-horned species was called unicorn, and then the two-horned species was called bicornus. So basically, you get a 200-year-old Noah Webster's dictionary and look up the word unicorn, it says rhinoceros, then look up the word rhinoceros and it says unicorn. That was just 200 years ago. The old King James was translated.
Then he planted a woman sharing a pretty deep revelation about how the Garden of Eden can actually be speaking about something deeper that has to do with our body. Check it out.
And on one of the first sessions of the class, I saw a picture of a neuron for the first time. Everybody know what a neuron is? A neuron is a nerve cell. It is the building block of those thoughts that you love. And so one day I was learning this thing in class. I looked at this neuron and it blew me away. Can you guys show me that slide? On the left is a neuron. On the right is a seedling. Neuron, seedling. Now I believe Romans 1:20 says that which may be known of God is clearly seen, being understood by the things that he made. And so if my Bible is true and every man be a liar, then God had to have been intentional, having made plants on the third day and us on the sixth day. Either God accidentally reused the mold, he got bored, he got distracted, or for some reason he chose for my neurons to look like plants. Every single day of creation is insight into how we are biologically constructed. Every day. And on the third day, he made plants, which taught us about our minds. Not only did he plant a garden for us, he planted a garden within us. There's billions of these plants all over your body. And when I saw that, I got so excited because, like all of you, I wanted some revelation about the mind. Yes, God, tell me, you're getting ready to show me something about the mind. And the Holy Spirit says, slow down. Where is the plant planted? You're so concerned with the plant, but where's the plant planted? And so that's when God showed me in the parable of the sower that Jesus calls the soil the heart. But then he showed me something else in the body, because we talk about the heart as a metaphor and our emotions. But then he showed me, go look at the heart. Can you show me the next slide? There it is. In Genesis chapter 2, we get a little recap of creation, and it says that God created man. He formed man in Eden, and then he planted him, put him in a garden, planted eastward in Eden. He formed him in Eden, then put him in the garden. He wasn't formed in the garden. Now, everybody put your left arm out. That's the east side of your body. Now put your hand on your heart. And the Lord planted a garden eastward in Eden. And then it says that a river flowed into the garden to water it. And that when the river left the garden, it broke into 1, 2, 3, 4 rivers. Oh, they can tell me what they want to in biology class. They can tell me it don't have nothing to do with religion. But my God made me with his fingers. He planted the garden eastward in Eden. This is your heart. The Holy of Holies and the temple that you are is your heart.
Wow, now that's...
What's good, family? When I search for a name, I look for the primitive root, the original name. I want to show you a Bible verse that makes me question the accuracy of the scriptures. I'm going to read from Genesis 32:28. And he said, "Thy name shall be no more Jacob, but Israel, for as a prince hast thou powered with God and with men, and hast prevailed." This part of the Old Testament is where Jacob received his name. Here's what I'm questioning, family. Did Jacob receive the correct name? Here is the same verse in Genesis, copied out of the online Bible dictionary. The letters and the numbers that's beside a word gives you the meaning of that word in Hebrew. What we're looking for is the definition of Israel. On the right, it reads H3478. The H stands for Hebrew. You can look up the numbers beside Israel, 3478, in the Strong's Bible Dictionary. On the left is the number that identifies the definition, 3478. It reads Yisrael, or should I read it from left to right, El Yisra, because of the symbol between the Ra and the El. It says from 8280 and 410, he will rule as God. Family, Israel means he will rule as God. Highlighted in yellow on the right, it says from 8280. This is telling you there is another definition or a name before Israel. To the left is the number 8280. That name to the right is Sarah, 2 words, not Sarah. Think of Abraham. His wife was named Sarah, not Sarah. It reads primitive root. That means the beginning or the first word. Primitive means original. It reads prevail, have power as a prince. Sarah means to prevail, have power as a prince. Let's read Genesis again, family. Thy name shall be no more called Jacob, but Israel. Below is the definition to one of those 2 names, Israel or Sarah. It reads, for as a prince hast thou powered with God and with men, and has prevailed. Look at the definition of Sarah. Prevail, power, prince. Family, my question is, why is Israel written there if the definition below belongs to Sarah? Here is Israel, 3478. He will rule as God. It says nothing about prevail. Here is the etymology of Israel. It reads, he that strives with God, walk with God. It doesn't say prevail, power, or prince. The name Sarah should be in the place of Israel. Jacob should have been called Sarah because he's the prince who wrestled and prevailed with God. At the bottom, it says Jacob is descended from Sarah. Friend up, drop a like. Let me show you that Congress knows who you are.
It goes back thousands and thousands of years. And if you go back to the book of Genesis and Genesis 1, it's a mistranslation. The whole Bible has been mistranslated. Why? Because the English translators of the Bible we call the King James Version. The King James translators were very good with the King's English. They didn't know beans about ancient Aramaic and Hebrew like we do today. They didn't realize what the words meant in Aramaic. They were trying to translate it. They did the best they could, but they didn't know. The